Hello, everyone. We have been part of history with a new era in education. And I am here to speak today. My name is Allison Rice to let you know that there was a time in history in 2000 that Bush, when he was becoming president, was making education a top priority to Congress. He wanted them to close the gap between disadvantaged and minority children with their peers. He wanted every single child in this country, in our country, to be able to get the same quality education, no matter how much you made, how much your qualifications were, your disabilities. Everyone was going to be able to get a fair chance of an education. This resulted in the NCLB Act, which is No Child Left Behind Act of 2001. There was four highlights that I have to read to you. The four principles of George Bush's education reform plan was stronger accountability for results, expanded flexibility and local control, expanded option for parents, and an emphasis on teaching methods that have been proven to work in the past. He wants to make sure that this all is the four major things that he wants everyone to know about. And why is this all? Because children is the future of our country. And I want to make sure that, do you understand? Do you know what this bill is about? Do you know what our taxpayer money is paying for? Is it working? How many children were left behind? And was it a necessity to have this act? My major being in early childhood development and education allowed me to research this. I was able to talk to parents, talk to teachers, research it on all the major educational websites and books that are out there about this subject. So I feel as if I can be able to share this with you to make sure that you also have the education and the understanding of what this is about. Especially when we have these bills in Congress that get passed, we need to be able to understand what they're all about and if they were really good for the good of the country. What I'm going to be explaining is the individual state, county, schools, what their responsibilities are. And at the end of this, I will have a question and answer session. So if you have any questions, hopefully I'll try to answer them as best as I can. I'm not sure if I introduced myself, but my name is Allison. And I would like to start off with telling you about what the responsibilities will be for Maryland. I hope that I have received your attention on this important matter. So let's go over those outstanding points of this act. The first major thing is to make sure the schools have strong accountability. Each of the schools need to report and know what they are doing and what type of education the children are receiving from each school throughout our country. They want to create strong standards in each state, provide flexibility for all 50 states. Now, each state is going to do their own handling of this act. The federal government will not basically run this act with it. The states will be held to do this and to report to the federal government with the statistics of what is working and what is not. They will have qualifications of all the children's teachers. You're going to reduce the gap, like I had said earlier, between the minority and the not so well off children with the well children and the bright children. There's going to be annual testing, and it doesn't start until grade 3. Great. Um, Sorry about that little break in there. It doesn't start until grade 3 to 8 is what is being tested for this No Child Left Behind. And we also want to adequate yearly progress with each of the states to see if this is progressing or not. So how will a yearly progress towards the, meet the standards? Well, all the states had until the school year of 2005 and 2006 to implement this program. And as of today's update, they have all met this standard. They also the states themselves have to decide what is proficient and adequate for their group. Also, because schools could fall behind, and if they fall behind, there's consequences. There's consequences because they will have to be subject to school improvements, corrective action, or even restructuring their curriculum in the individual schools. But an underperforming schools can prevent and avoid such measures if they can demonstrate that 10% of their reduction in their students are meeting the annual goals. Now let's concentrate on exactly what the state of Maryland has done to for their responsibilities to the NCLB. How does Maryland do this? Well, they conduct on-site interviews, and they also go to each school and decide from the data that has been collected from the schools, from the testing, and also the anything for the special children. They also talk to the staff members and make sure that everyone's following the regulations for the No Child Left Behind. And also the individual schools, they have to tell the parents by annual report cards. They have to report to the parents the academic achievement for all student groups. Also, they need to make a comparison of students compared to other from their school to students statewide. They also have to report on graduation rates, and along with graduation rates, dropout rates. All the parents will get this information to know what is going on in their school. They also need to know the professional qualification of each of the teachers. You don't want to just take for granted that the teachers are professionally qualified. You want to know for sure that they are there to educate your children. Also, they'll let them know the percentage of students that didn't get tested, so that your test grades show the right amount of students, not an inflated mark. Also, you will get named of schools that need improvement. They have a right as parents now that if your child is in a school that needs an improvement and you want to move that child to a different school, you may so. That is something that has never been able to in the past, and that now is part of the new act. I would like to take this time to answer any questions that you may have. Okay, if there are no other questions, I would like to, I hope this information laid it out in layman terms. I know if you try to read the act online, it would be very complicated for you. And this laid it out so you can understand this piece of legislation. It is important that we know where our tax money is going. It's also great, especially in today's economy. It's also to know and understand how important it is that no child is ever left behind. George Bush made a famous statement once, and his statement was, when it comes to the education of our children, failure is not an option. And he stated that August 1st, 2001. I would like to thank you for being such a tentative audience and coming in today to hear my presentation, and I wish you all a great day.